Hey guys, what's up? Game Boy here. Welcome back to another video. So I'm going to be promoting two YouTubers from now on. There's two good friends of mine on Discord. There's Echo and Anime Boy. So I'll leave a link to their channels down in the description, so check them out. They will be the top two links. So this first story comes from Apex Legends, and this game for the Switch has unfortunately been delayed to 2021. EA announced this on their official website, and they had this to say: "We're still hard at work on the port, but in order to do justice to the game and make it into the great experience Switch players deserve, our team needs more time. This year has brought on unexpected new challenges, to put it mildly, and we don't want to rush anything out." This next story comes from the Assassin's Creed series. Valhalla isn't even out yet, and we already have theories about where the next Assassin's Creed game could go. There was this person on Reddit who posted this. It's like, I'm not going to read it, obviously, because it's really super long. You can pause it if you want to read it, though. It's just a theory about where the next game could go, to either Japan or China. So this next story comes from Atelier II. We have a couple of things to talk about, so if you don't want to hear this, I'll put a timestamp up for you to skip ahead. So Koei Tecmo announced that the physical version for the PS5 over in Japan has been cancelled. Tasty. Not only that, but pre-orders for the limited edition are now available. And Koei Tecmo tweeted this out: "Limited editions, or LEs for short, have been restocked. For PS4 and Switch, don't miss out on this opportunity." Also, just a heads up, this will release December 3rd of this year in Japan and January 26th of next year here in the USA. So this next story comes from Azure Striker Gunvolt 3. Inti Creates has now announced that this will be playable at the Digital Games Expo on November 29th. And they tweeted this out, and they said this. They said, "Azure Striker Gunvolt 3 will be shown to the public for the first time when we showcase it at this year's Digital Games Expo at Akihabara, UDX on November 29th. Playable demos will be on hand, so we hope you look forward to what GV3 has to offer." This next story comes from the BanjoKazooie series, and no, we don't have an update on a remake, but we do have an update on the merch. There's been some new merch coming out, and Fangamer tweeted this out. "Look, Fangamer has launched two new BanjoKazooie lines, a terrific tote bag and a palette of squishable Jinjo plushes that won't shout for help every 5 seconds. Here's a handy link should anything take your fancy." This next story comes from Bully, or the rumors of a Bully 2. There has been a potential hit against this, that it might not happen. So this comes from comicbook.com. Back in July, during an episode of Awfully Irish Podcast, Rosenthal made the aforementioned reaffirmation. Of course, at this point, these comments, blah, 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 I wrote fast forward. Not only does Rosenthal confirm he's heard nothing about a follow-up to Bully, but he's dismissed claims that he's simply saying this because he's signed an NDA. In other words, if Bully 2 is truly in development, either Rockstar Games has recast Jimmy Hopkins, or Jimmy Hopkins isn't in the game. And this next story comes from Crash on the Run. I didn't know this game even existed, but it does. There has been a release date that has possibly been leaked on the App Store. And that release date is March 25th of next year. And this next story comes from the Danganronpa series. So an Instagram model with over 6,000 followers named Ayu.exe posted this. This was her cosplaying as Ibuki Miyoda, I think that's her name. This next story comes from Doom Eternal. So there was apparently a reference to a YouTuber with nearly 1 million subscribers named Inugami Karone. So if you press the chainsaw button twice on the runes menu, the logo for Doom Eternal will change from Doom Eternal to Doog Eternal with a G. Now that people are starting to notice this, it's been taken down. No one knows why. No, literally no one knows why. I think it's kind of dumb because, it just gives her a little bit of more exposure. This next story is pretty big for anyone who has played a Nintendo DS. This comes from a game called Drawn to Life. So a new game has now been rated over in Taiwan, and not only that, but there's actually been a domain name called DrawnToLifeGame.com. Well, the domain name was actually registered earlier this month. If this video does get uploaded in November, this was recorded in October, so just a heads up for those who are a bit confused. This next story comes from Dying Light 2, and unfortunately this game keeps getting delayed, but I think it's good that it's getting delayed. I mean, if you want the game to be good and not rushed, would you rather have the game rushed and bad like Sonic 06? Or would you rather have a good game? And unfortunately, this still has no confirmed release date. This next story comes from The Elder Scrolls 6. No, we don't have an update on this, but a YouTuber with over 50,000 subscribers named Captain Hishiro made a fan-made trailer, and in my opinion, I think it looks cool. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description down below, so please check him out. This next story comes from Fallout New Vegas, and no, we don't have an update on the potential sequel that everybody's been speculating about, but earlier this week was his 10th anniversary. Sawyer, a.k.a. Josh Sawyer, I think he's the director of the game, right? And he has been live streaming this over on his Twitch account. So I'm not sure if he's still playing it, but I will leave a link to his Twitch just in case. This next story comes from Final Fantasy VII Remake, and no, we don't have an update on this coming to the Xbox One. The voice actor of Aerith over on Twitter posted this, pretty much cosplaying as her, and she had this to say. Beyond excited to share these first 2 photos of my Aerith cosplay. How lucky am I to voice her? This next story comes from Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light. It has finally been announced that this original Fire Emblem game has now been getting a localization, and it's coming out sometime in December. I can't remember when. I will put the date up if I can double check while I'm editing. Nintendo of America tweeted out this. They said, 30 years ago, the first Fire Emblem introduced beloved characters like Marth and the series' signature strategic gameplay. Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light comes to Switch fully localized for the first time. Get a lesson in Fire Emblem history with the Fire Emblem 30th Anniversary Edition. This actually got so big it has another game trending on Twitter, which I'll get into that later on in the video, but this next story comes from Five Nights at Freddy's. So, I think in the last video I talked about this being listed for the PS4 and the Xbox One. There's now an update. So, if you look at the listings on Amazon, it says Help Wanted is $29.99, and it comes out December 15th, 2020. The core collection has been listed for $39.99 and comes out in January 12th of next year. This next story comes from Forza Horizon 4. This Reddit user named Carboy0001 posted this on Reddit. It's just a video of his car getting hit by a train, and it gets sent flying. And some speedrunners actually think that they could use this to their advantage in races around that area, or any area that has trains. And another Reddit user named CliffRW209 posted this. This is insane. Pretty much turned his Ferrari into an airplane. It had so much airtime. It was insane. This next story comes from 2 games, and that is God of War 3 Remastered and God of War 2018. A YouTuber with over 95,000 subscribers named Lance McDonald tweeted out this. God of War 3 Remastered and God of War 2018 both received updates in the last few days. For the first time in years, both titles will likely benefit from PS5 boost mode in this case. I wonder if there's anything else hidden inside. And now, ever since then, there's just been a lot of speculation about these 2 games going to the PS5. This next story comes from the GTA series. So there's a poster in Grand Theft Auto 5 that has possibly been hinting at the next Grand Theft Auto game. So a Reddit user named Mr. Burpalot posted this. Another Reddit user commented and said this. He said, pictures of GTA 5 were in Max Payne 3, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did the same thing here. This next story comes from Ikaruga, I'm not sure how to say that, but this is getting a vinyl soundtrack, and I'll leave a link to that if you want to get it down below. This next story comes from Inazuma 11 SD. This game will be shutting down on all mobile devices on December 1st, so to those who have the game, play it while you can. This next story comes from Zelda II, The Adventure of Link. This is huge. A YouTube channel called DidYouKnowGaming made a video on the lost Zelda games and Zelda games that were supposed to come out but it got cancelled. So for context, the NT Creates' president named Takuya Aizu, he has expressed more than once in the past that he wants to remake Zelda 2, and DidYouKnowGaming reached out to him to ask him how would he approach a remake, and this is what he had to say. He said, if we were to start development right away, I think it would be very aware of its Famicom Disk System roots. But if this dream remake were to happen a few years down the road, I think it would be made in a way that would be the most suitable for players at that time, using the best development techniques we have available over at NT Creates. But if you talk too much about your dreams, they cease to be dreams, so I think I'll leave it at that. So yeah, we might actually be getting a Zelda 2 remake sometime in the future. Me, I'm a huge Nintendo fan, so when I saw this, I freaked out. I just love Zelda. This next story comes from Minecraft. Apparently the Java edition will now require a Microsoft account in 2021. I didn't know about that. I don't really know how I feel about that because I haven't played Minecraft in a long time. This next story comes from MLB The Show 21. I don't normally talk about sports games, mainly because I'm not really into them. So the official MLB Show Twitter tweeted out this, and it has people speculating that we might not hear from this game until 2021. He said, at the San Diego studio, we're gearing up for next year and look forward to sharing more in 2021. Be well, stay safe, and look for more live content in MLB The Show 20. So remember earlier when I was talking about the localization of Fire Emblem, and I said it had another game trending? Yeah, we're talking about that now. So I'm just going to go ahead and read what a couple of people have been saying on Twitter. This is just, it's gotten so big on Twitter, and it's not even the game announced, so I'm just going to read a couple of people's reaction, and then we can get on to the next story. A YouTuber with over 3,000 subscribers named Taco said this. He said, it didn't even take half an hour for Mother 3 to trend, and it's not even the game announced. And another YouTuber with over 100,000 subscribers named Red Bard said, Nintendo of America makes Fire Emblem announcement. Twitter makes Mother 3 trending. And then Stephen Place tweeted out this. He said, now do Mother 3. And then a Twitch streamer named Apollo the Almighty said, first Ness buffs instead of Lucas, now Fire Emblem localized instead of Mother 3. Lucas can't take much more. This next story comes from NBA 2K21. So there have been these unskippable ads in the game, and a lot of people seem to hate this, and it got so bad to the point to where the official NBA 2K Twitter had to respond, and they said this. That as many are aware, in recent years, ads have been integrated into 2K TV segments. Yesterday's 2K TV ad placement impacted our players' experience in a way we didn't intend. As these ads are not meant to run as a pre-game introduction, this will be fixed in future episodes. Thanks for your continued feedback. This next story comes from the Ogre Battle series. I don't think I've ever talked about this. We might possibly be getting another Ogre Battle game sometime in the future. So the latest issue of Famitsu has interviewed Yasumi Matsuno about this for its 25th anniversary, and when asked about another game, Yasumi said this. I have no intention to make a declaration on that. Perhaps it could be an illusionary route not depicted in the games. It'd be good if I could live up to expectations, such as a sequel. However, the business implications will get stronger there after all. So I'd say it'll be quicker if you just ask Square Enix about that. This next story comes from Persona 5 Scramble, The Phantom Strikers. There has been some speculation that the localization for this in America might not happen, and that is because if you look at Koei Tecmo's financial report, it no longer shows up on there, so a lot of people have been worrying that the localization might not happen. This next story comes from Red Dead Redemption 2. No, nothing really happened with this game, but a Reddit user named Ape Watcher, he posted this, and he said this about his dad constantly playing Red Dead Redemption 2. My 65-year-old dad, he plays Red Dead Redemption 2 story mode for hours every day. He's finished the story at least 30 times at this point. I've tried getting him into other games, but he only wants to play Red Dead Redemption 2. This next story comes from Rock Band 3, nothing happened with it. Once again, nothing happened with it. It's just its 10th anniversary, and congratulations to Harmonix for that. So I was supposed to talk about this in my last video, but I didn't. This next story comes from R-Type Final 2. This has now been delayed to 2021. This next story comes from Star Wars The Force Unleashed series, and there's this guy named Daniel Rickman. I think I talked about him in my last video. He's predicting a third game. While some of these aren't really stories and it's just anniversaries, this is worth mentioning in my opinion because I played it and it's good. Really good. Super Mario Odyssey. Earlier this week was its 3rd anniversary, and I love it. I love the game. I really do. And there have been rumors of a Super Mario Odyssey sequel. I don't know much about that. This next story comes from Super Meat Boy Forever. So for the first time of 6 years of this game being in development, I think we finally got gameplay of this game. So Tommy Refenes, I'm not really sure how to say that, a.k.a. Tommunism over on Twitch. He's been live streaming the gameplay for this game over on his Twitch account. This next story comes from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So a YouTuber with over 20,000 subscribers named Backseat did a video, and he predicted the characters, the final 4 characters, literally with math. I've seen the video. I think it's well thought out. I've actually seen it. I think he did like maybe 1 or 2 other videos predicting the characters with math. So I'll leave a link to his channel and the video. Definitely check him out. This next story comes from Time Splitters. This year is its 20th anniversary. This next story comes from the Uncharted movie, not the game, but the movie. And Tom Holland posted this on Instagram, and Nolan North reacted to this over on Twitter, and he had this to say. He said, like looking into a mirror, proud to have Tom Holland continuing the Drake legacy. Absolutely smashing it. Thanks for the said visit. Wait a minute. Smashing it? And for this final story comes from World of Warcraft. Nothing really happened with it, but I came across this cosplayer over on Instagram, and I think it looks pretty cool. Her name is Cinderise Art, or Cinderise Art. She's someone with over 50,000 followers, so I'll leave a link to her Instagram. It'll be the bottom link, very bottom link. I leave links to every single person I talk about, just because I don't know if you guys want to check them out or not. But I do, just in case. Anyways, that's it for this video, guys. If you like it, leave a thumbs up. If you're new, please subscribe. And I will try and upload one video a week, so be prepared. Bye, guys.